If you ever thought that I was a nice person, this video is about to change your mind. Hey, what's up? Hello, it's Katie here. Welcome back to my channel, and we're gonna do some more yearly wrap-up content. And this is one of my favorites to watch because I love when people are passionate about books, whether it's good or bad. And you know that we have chaotic energy on this channel, and when I feel something about a book, I feel it. Like, I feel it, okay? There's a lot of books that I read this year that I was just like, did I read that? Like, you could have fooled me. I don't even remember it. And those are like, okay, whatever, you know, cool. But then there's some books that like viscerally made me angry. Made me feel something in a negative way, and that's what this video is about. Oh my God, it's editing Katie here, okay? To stop before we start, I need to give you a warning. I went back and deleted my disclaimer because I don't need to disclaim, I need to warn you, okay? This is a big red warning symbol that I'm mean in this video. I did not think I was when I was filming it, but now that I'm watching it back, I mean, okay? So if there's one of these books that you like and it pops up, just go ahead and skip until the next book pops up, because you're not gonna like what I have to say. If you ever thought that I was a nice person, this video is about to change your mind. I have a list of about 10 books with 4 honorary mentions, and that might seem like a big list, but it's like December 21st, I think, and I've already read 205 books. So 14 is like not a crazy number to talk about, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out with the 4 honorary mentions, and those are mainly like books that I've read recently that I'm not like so mad about or anything. I'm just like, no. And I actually have a stack right here because since I've read them recently, I haven't got rid of them yet. And the first one is going to be The Night Olivia Fell by Christina McDonald. So this was given to me by a coworker. I don't know if anybody has even ever heard of this. I never have. USA Today bestseller. I feel like they say that on every book. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you what these books are about because I don't care if you read them because I don't like them. I'm not trying to push them on you. I'm just going to tell you what about it made me not like it. But this was given to me by a coworker because she said it was going to make me cry. And I should have known when she said that she picked it up at a grocery store that it wasn't going to be a good book. I did read it very quickly. I read it in 2 days. This is just a bad book. It's just bad. Like, okay, the best way I can describe how the way in which this is a bad book is how many breaths can you possibly not realize you've been holding? Yeah. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm also going to say an honorary mention to Fable by Adrienne Young. This is the most boring, pointless book I've ever read in my life. Like, we get it. She's a teenager that drinks bourbon. Nobody cares. Like, it was pointless. I was so incredibly bored. Like, how did she make a second book? I don't know. Anyway, the next 2 are going to hurt a lot of people because they are so well known right now. They're so, like, BookTube, Bookstagram, Book Talk famous. And I don't understand it at all. And that's In My Dreams to Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I love the concept. I do. But this is one of those, like, you're just pointing the gun at everyone. It's a murder mystery. And there's, like, one of the characters that's trying to figure out the mystery is like, and that's why you murdered her. And then literally right after doing that, when the person's like, no, I didn't, he's like, no, that's why you murdered her. Literally that happens like so many times. And I'm like, okay. And they're the most unlikable characters too, but like not in a fun and interesting way, like how The Secret History was for me. This was like, y'all are just annoying. You're just annoying. Like, I did not like this. I really didn't like the ending. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, the next one is going to be Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. No. What are y'all? Oh my God. I'm sorry. My friends, my familia. If I can use Jordalan's quote there. What about this book are y'all liking so much? I don't understand it. The plot twist, terrible, horrifying. The way this book ends, so bad. Are you kidding me? That is what happens? The poor decision making, horrifying. And I was gripped. The first half of this book, I was freaking gripped. And I kept telling everybody at work like what was going on. And I literally kept saying to Grace, I was like, I can tell this is going to take a turn I'm not going to like. I can tell that this is a lot of suspense that's not going anywhere. I really hope I'm wrong. And I wasn't. It's just all this thrilling sentences that aren't coming to fruition. It's just there to thrill you, but there's no good backbone to this mystery. And it's just insane. Like, they should never have been making these decisions. I feel like this should have gone in the top 10. Anyway, let's move on to the top 10. To let you know, the way that I've ordered them is basically like how angry they made me. And they're in a vague order, but just to let you know, it's not necessarily which books are the worst. It's like, for whatever reason, which one pissed me off the most and which ones I want to like scream about, you know what I'm saying? So number 10 is gonna have to go to The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. Now this is the third book in the Cruel Prince trilogy, and it is widely known to be the worst book in the trilogy. That's well known, but I hated the entire series. I do not understand why people like it. I don't know. But this one, I read it for a vlog. God, I'll link it. But I read it for a vlog, and the snake made me so mad. I was like, this is the dumbest thing anyone has ever written. Like, what are you talking about? That's disgusting. It's stupid. Why did this come out of nowhere? Never talked about a snake ever before in any of the other books. Never even mentioned the word snake. And then here we are now doing this. Yeah, so I put it at number 10 because I don't like the series personally. It's not for me. I don't like it, but I don't think about the series anymore. When somebody mentions it, I'm like, oh yeah, I read that. I didn't like it. So it's not like it pisses me off. I just don't get it. So that's gonna be number 10. And number 9 is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I give this 2 stars because I think that the concept is really cool, and this is very beloved in the booktube community, but something that nobody talks about, like I don't understand why I never hear anybody say this, is how insanely juvenile the main characters are. They act like they're 11 years old. Citra and Rowan, can't forget their names because they were so, oh my God, they just ate up my brain. Like, they were so freaking annoying. It's that so tropey. Like, it's such the, I'm not like other girls. And then the guy, which is so disgusting. Rowan is like, I'm the nice guy and you should want me because I'm the nice guy and I don't want to see you in pain. Are you kidding me? And the fact that we as the reader are supposed to believe that these two like 15-year-olds are coming up with ideas that these Scythes who have been around for 300 years have never come up with, and they're doing it repeatedly and succeeding, like, miss me with that. Miss me with that. And very sadly, we have number 8, and it is Across the Green Grass Fields by Seanan McGuire. I love the Wayward Children series. I love it. I really love Seanan McGuire. I've enjoyed, if not adored, everything that she has written that I've read so far. But this was a huge waste of time. It was a waste of time. I have not heard anyone that thought that this was as good as the rest of the series. This book makes me so mad because you wasted a year of my life that I could have been reading a Wayward Children book, but instead you wrote a book about a horse girl living in a horse town doing fuck all. She wasn't doing nothing. There was nothing happening. Like, at least in An Absent Dream, which I thought was okay. Like, I mean, I think I gave it 4 stars. Like, I liked it, but I didn't keep it because I didn't love it. At least in that, I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the morals and the principles and everything we're supposed to be learning. And Across the Green Grass Fields, I was like, we better never see this bitch again. We better never see this horse girl again. I swear to God, I was like, I don't care about her. I don't care about her, her family, her life, her anything. I don't care. She was so boring. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Another huge disappointment is number 7, The Minders by John Mars. I have read 4 of John Mars' books, and I think he only has 6 or 7, I believe, but I've given 2 of them 5 stars, 1 of them 4 stars, and this was a glaring 1 star for so many reasons, The first and biggest one being that this is set in the same universe as The Passengers and The One, which I've given 5 stars to and absolutely love and recommend all the time. And he spoils those 2 books in the very beginning of this book. Spoils them. Why would he do that? Why would an author ever do that to themselves? I don't understand it. And it's making it so that either you're not going to pick up the other 2 books or that you have to have already picked up those books. And I'm like, those books are so far superior to The Minders. The Minders is a bad book. And I was on Gabby's live show for the book troupe, and I'm so glad that she asked me to be on there because her and I both love John Mars. But we both gave this 1 star. It's also in her worst books of the year, which I was so happy to see. I was like, thank you, Gabby. This book is trash. Also, that was a flop, Gabby, but if you ever want me to come back, maybe we'll have a success next time. But this book, it's poorly written. I think he wrote it, yeah, he did. He wrote it during COVID and when he had just had a son. And you can tell that, I don't know, maybe he was just trying to make money. Maybe he was not in his right mind. He was sleep deprived. Maybe he was, pandemic scared. I don't know. This book, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. You're flip-flopping all around. It's like a government conspiracy. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. The government conspiracy in the first place is just astronomically absurd. I'm like, the government would never do that. Why don't you have a fail-safe? A government no. John Mars. No. It didn't make any sense. And there was also a character that was so homophobic. It was disgusting. And it was literally a character that was basically gay, but was homophobic and being oh my God, ew, I would never do that. I was like, what? That I'm just reminding myself of that right now. That just came into my head that happened. That was disgusting. This book is bad. I do not recommend it, but I do recommend his other books. And hopefully he gets his shit together because this was bad. Oh God, another favorite author that really shit the bed in 2021 is Grady Hendrix with number 6, The Final Girls Support Group. I did not like this book. I cannot believe that it won Best Horror of the Year. I can't. I can't believe it. I can't. What are y'all talking about? It's bad. And also, I don't hear anybody saying they like it. So why did it win? What's happening? This book, I love Grady Hendrix, but this is not good. It's very repetitive. Usually Grady Hendrix has very shockingly horror where you kind of forget it's horror and then it pops in and then it's very funny, very comedic. This is a slasher, and I have come to realize that I don't like slashers. They're just gory, gratuitous, just repetitive nonsense. It's just cliche. And that's what happened in this book. Also Lynette, I think her name's Lynette, the main character. Did I really just remember the main character's name? Lynette's paranoia was so annoying to read about. I get it, Grady Hendrix. I get that she's paranoid. She has every right to be, but I don't need you to say that she looked over her shoulder every other sentence for every single page of the book. I get it. Maybe just change the way you're saying it. The steps that she would take, the precautionary steps that she would take before she left the house, he would talk about it every single chapter. I get it. I got it 200 pages ago, and I'm freaking sick of reading about it anymore. It was just so annoying. And also, I hated the plot twist so much. The plot twist wasn't just poorly done and not well put together and well staged, but bad in general. I don't like that. I didn't like it. And I didn't like the characters, which normally in Grady Hendrix books, I do. I feel like I've probably said enough. I didn't like it. Number 5 is The Patient by Jasper DeWitt. And this is sad because I know that McKay and Gabby both gave this 5 stars and absolutely loved it. I did not like this book at all. But the 2 biggest reasons that I didn't like this book is because it is very similar to the main character of The Silent Patient. And I should have known that going in because on the back of the book, it says that it was inspired by The Silent Patient. But I do not like the trope of the young male psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever that just gets out of school and thinks they're such hot shit and that they're the only person on God's green earth that is smart enough, that has the biggest brass balls enough to save this patient. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Sit down and calm down, because no. Ew, it's so arrogant and disgusting, and we're supposed to think this guy's hot shit. No. Sit down. Stop it. No. Dunce cap for you. This guy, I can't. He was so young, and he's just I'm gonna be the one that does this. And the nurse is you know how many people have tried? No. And then every idea he had, he thought he was the first person that ever had that idea, and I was that's common sense, bitch. You're the first one? Okay. Facts check out, I guess. So annoying. Anyway, there was also that, but another thing I really didn't like is how misogynistic this book was. And it's not blatantly misogynistic, but it's clear that Jasper DeWitt has that vibe, because there's only 2 female characters. The first of which is the head nurse who's oh my God, so motherly, but she's stern like Molly Weasley. And then he freaking throws her off the roof, chapter 1. Okay. But it's the way that she dies is anyway. The other female character is his boss, the main character's boss. Let that settle in real quick. It is his superior, the one in charge. Is she treated with respect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's like looking at her like she's an idiot. And oh my God, this has the empty womb like trope in this book where the boss is like, oh, well, the patient bamboozled me because I never had a son and I just thought of him as a son and I wanted to love him. And I was like, how many men are in this book that don't have children that didn't happen to them? I don't like that trope. Okay, for real, I need to move on. Actually, I don't know why I'm acting like these segments are going to get any shorter because I have feelings. Number 4, I've talked about it so many times. Nevernight by J. Kristoff. You're wondering, Katie, how could it be possible that it's at number 4 and not at number 1? Oh, we're getting to some doozies, trust me. Number 4 here, I put it in number 4 because there are parts of this book that I think if you stripped everything else away would be good. Like, I think that the idea of this world, the idea of the main character is cool. Like, I don't know. If somebody else wrote it, maybe. But let's talk about a couple things I hated about this book. J. Kristoff, okay, so what he does in his writing is he puts these giant, like, notes. I don't remember what you call that, but like, say if you're reading and there's a word and it has an asterisk, and then at the bottom, there's like all these footnotes. And okay, when I say footnotes, I can understand doing that because the world is different than ours and we need to know about it. But when I tell you they are paragraphs of footnotes, paragraphs of dense, just world building that is just, in my opinion, unnecessary, makes the book too long. Why didn't you show me instead of telling me? And it reads like a freaking historical, like freaking textbook. Like, it's just so annoying. And I'm like, just skip it. Like, skip all those parts. So stupid. And then the cat that's not a cat, like, he just repeated so many things. Like, he would always say like, oh, the cat that isn't the cat, the not cat. I'm like, yeah, I fucking got it. I got Jay, Mr. Kristoff. You already wrote that 17 times. Calm down, okay? There was that. And then also the way that the main character is supposed to be a feminist, but like, is the way that like a high school emo boy would think a feminist acts like. Like, she's like, oh my God, she's so beautiful and she's so thin. She's so thin. And she gets like plastic surgery to make her pretty so that she can have sex with dudes to like kill them. She gets a boob job and they talk about it a lot. The amount of times they talk about this girl's boobs, the amount of times she talks about her boobs, unsettling, stupid. The fact that like there's a part where she gives this whole monologue about like how she's a feminist and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, you just sound rude. You sound rude. Like, she's going on and on about how the C word is like a good word and how people should use it. And the guy who she's talking to is staring at her like, I don't know why you're saying this to me. Like, what is going on right now? And he's like being apologetic and she's getting so angry and it's so annoying. Oh my God. And then also the first chapter of this book is her losing her virginity to an escort. What? Okay. And then halfway through the book, there's a sex scene where she's blowing this guy off, and it's vividly descriptive. It is disgustingly descriptive. It's not hot. It's not sexy. It's grotesque. I don't want to hear skin talked about in that way. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't. Ever. Never in my entire life. So gross. Oh my God. I feel like there's a lot more that I could say that I didn't like, but that's probably enough. Number 3 is another one I will not stop beating into the ground, and it is Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. The reason I won't stop is because people need to hear this. If you've already heard me say it, here we are again. You're gonna hear it again. The fat phobia in this book is vile. It is grotesque. It is disgusting. Why is nobody talking about it? There's a character, T.C. Moore, I'll never fucking forget. She's like, I wear all black and I'm ripped and I'm beautiful and I'm like a Suicide Squad girl, and like I ride a motorcycle and I've got jet black hair and I'm so pale and I wear red lipstick, and oh my fucking God, she was such a bitch. Like, she is a bitch. She's mean. And this is the thing. Those kind of characters exist. But I don't like that the book is glorifying her. Like, we're supposed to think she's sexy. We're supposed to think she's cool. And there's another character, Daniel, sweet baby boy Daniel, who is overweight. And he's such a nice guy, okay? And all she does the entire book is make fun of his weight, blatantly. And I don't just mean under her breath. I don't mean in her head. I mean to him out loud in front of a group of his peers. Disgusting. She's like, they're all sitting around eating Chinese food. All of them, her included. She's eating. He's eating. He asks a question, not with food in his mouth. He just asks a question. And she says, all I can see is you shoveling food into your mouth. And I'm like, bitch, you're also eating. What do you mean? He only eats when you're eating. What are you talking about? Horrifying. And then, I know, I've said this example so many times, but listen, if you haven't seen those other videos, I'm here to talk about it, okay? Is they get onto an elevator at a house that has not been occupied in like 60 years, okay? And the elevator creaks. It's an old house. And Daniel is like, oh my gosh, did you get this elevator serviced? T.C. Moore says, it's because of you. What? And we're supposed to think that she's cool. Oh, let me give you a couple other examples. She has art, like giant, blown up, framed art prints in her apartment of a child looking down the barrel of an assault rifle. That's what T.C. Moore thinks is art. I'm sorry, Scott Thomas. What did you want me to get out of that? Because why is she the hero? Like, it's bad. Number 2 also happens to be the second worst book I have ever read in my entire life. And that is Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. This book wasn't just disappointing because Taylor Adams wrote one of my favorite books, which is No Exit. It's not just disappointing. This book is horrible. It's terribly written. The concept is bad. The characters are bad. The writing is terrible. The plot, the progression, the dialogue, the action sequences. It's horrible. A couple things that were terrible about this book is that you cannot trust the main character. And in the very beginning of the book, she says that she's making it up. Literally in the beginning of the book, she says that there's parts of the book that she made up. What? Okay, there was that. And then also the action sequences. I feel like Taylor Adams wrote No Exit, which was very thrilling. And he was like, I'm gonna do that on steroids. Where No Exit was already on steroids. And he did not understand the assignment, okay? Because this book, the entire thing is action sequences. From page 1 to done, it's an whole action sequence where nothing happens. Bullets are flying all over the goddamn. Does anybody ever get shot? Barely. It's like literally there's not enough ammunition in the entire world to supply how many gunshots went off in this book. There's a character that gets shot on 4 separate occasions in vital organs and doesn't die. What the fuck? I was so mad. I was reading it and I was like, he's not dead? You fucking kidding me? Oh my God, I was so angry. And the fact that I'm like, this whole shootout is happening basically in like a barren wasteland of like Arizona or something, and they miss. The only thing to hide behind is a car. And sometimes they aren't even behind the car. And you're gonna miss? You're a fucking police officer. Like, what the fuck? I was so angry. I was so angry. The ending in this book is fucking terrible. It's so bad. And then also the fact that, oh my God, the main character has a identical twin. The other main character somehow inconceivably also happens to have an identical twin. What? No. And then the underlying, not even really connected to the plot, serial killer storyline was just so extra and ridiculous that I was like, how did we even get here? Why are we here? I don't understand, and I don't care where we're going because I know that it's nowhere. You can go ahead and guess what the number 1 spot is going to be. I feel like everybody is going to put this in their worst books of the year, and I'm happy about that because I love that I am not the only person that feels this way. Number 1 is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I'm going to stand here and tell you with my full chest, this is the worst book I've ever read in my entire fucking life. I'm serious. This is the worst. I'm putting hands down, this is the worst book I have ever read. This book made me so angry. It's so poorly written. The concept is just, it pisses me off that this was even written. Like, I can't understand. And like, I swear, Gabby said that her mom was like, I think like a conspiracy is that this book was actually written a long time ago and that he just has to have a book come out every year and he wasn't ready to publish his new book, like The House at the whatever the frick he's doing now, but it wasn't ready because of the pandemic or whatever. So they published something he'd already written. And I'm like, I want to buy into that conspiracy because I do not want to believe that Riley Sager would write this book right now. Like, it's so horrible. Oh my God. Like, the main character is the dumbest bitch that has ever walked the literary planet. She's so stupid. You're reading the book and you're like, no one with half a brain cell would make the decisions that she's making. She puts herself in such compromising positions. In my opinion, on purpose, it would feel. If it was on purpose, at least that I could understand. But somehow she's just an idiot. And she just finds herself in these horrible situations and then she just is consistently making them worse. And then when she has a chance to make them better, she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Whenever they're playing that whole like guess the word or whatever game and it's tooth, I was like, I would have barrel rolled right out of the goddamn car. I would have never gotten in the car in the fucking first place. But I would have barrel rolled right out of the goddamn car. I would have jumped out the goddamn window. And she's just, oh, well, turn the music up. I'm like, I'm so mad, okay? She gets into the car with a strange man while there is a serial killer on campus. And then you find out like halfway through the book that he's actually like too old to even be a student there. And she's like, oh, well, maybe he's a teacher. But I'm like, bitch, wouldn't you fucking know that? You go to this goddamn school. And then she's like, maybe he's a janitor. And I'm like, you just got into the car with somebody you think is a school janitor and you're not even gonna fucking ask him any goddamn questions? Honestly, I was reading this book thinking she deserves to die. She deserves it. She asked for death. She's pleading to the universe. She's pleading to this man to kill her. Like, to be honest, the whodunit was the most obvious shit you've ever fucking heard in your life. I literally, from the first chapter, knew who did it and was just waiting because the person who did it is barely ever on page. And you're like, I know that's gonna be the person who did it, but why are we not getting any screen time? We're not getting any screen time with this person. And so what? This is all leading up to them being revealed, but you didn't lay it out. So annoying, but the ending of this motherfucking book, she marries him. She marries him. Did I mention that she was stupid? Did I say that? I don't think you understood. I'm spoiling a little bit right now, but I do not care because I'm saving you from yourself. She literally marries the man that has been holding her hostage and taking her on this whole ass goose chase, like holding her hostage for like the past like 7 hours. What? And then they use the unreliable narrator trope to the most annoying degree because she has something wrong with her. The girl has some sort of mental disorder. I don't remember. I don't think they ever said what it was, but she has something going on and she sees movies in her head. So at any point in the story, you have no idea if what's happening is really happening. And it doesn't tell you whether it's happening or not happening. You're just like, this is just all a fever dream of some stupid girl who got into the car with a serial killer. I don't understand. Like, what? And I wasn't rooting for her. And let me tell you that I listened to this while I was on a car trip with my best friend Grace. And she and I hated it so much that, and I was like, I have to finish it because I needed to know what people were talking about. And it was one of Gabby's book troop selections. And I was like, we need to finish it so that we can join the discussion. When we finished it, Grace was literally tearing up, wiping tears from her eyes because she was so frustrated and angry that she had to read this book. And Grace, I'm so sorry. Speaking of apologies, I want to apologize to anyone I have offended with this video, the number of which I am sure is astronomical. This is my opinion. This is my opinion, okay? That's what you came here for. This is my worst books of the year. Doesn't mean it has to be yours. I want you to write down below what your worst books of the years are, of the years. Sure, whatever, of any year. Let me know what your worst book of 2021 is in the comments down below. If you've gotten to this far in the video, you could leave the emoji of the girl going like this, because I love that. It's just like, no. Because that's how I feel. I clearly am passionate about it, okay? If you want to follow me on Goodreads or Instagram, they are going to be linked down below. If you want to hit that subscribe button, you totally could. It's the end of the year. Give me a little New Year's gift or Christmas gift. And I would love, love, love that. And I would also like to see you in a video coming up very soon. So I hope you're having an amazing day, evening, night, dusk, dawn, wherever you are. And I will see you in a video coming very soon. Bye.